And welcome to the Armchair Illini podcast. My name is Zach Leslie, and I currently live in Johnson City, Tennessee, go to Milligan College. And this is kind of the first time that Armchair Illini is going to dabble in the podcasting world. And we are a two-person team, so now I'd like to introduce you to my co-host, Alex Chi. Welcome, Alex. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Hello to all our viewers. My name's Alex. I'm a University of Illinois alum. Currently just working out in the suburbs of Chicago and about to go to medical school next year. So glad to be here, man. Just excited to move forward with our armchair account.
Yeah, man. You just had an interview Friday, right?
Yeah. It was last Friday, and I think it went well, but we'll see.
Yeah, you never know. Well, after the Mark Smith transfer saga, everyone was freaking out. Illinois sports was seemingly crumbling, and no one knew what to do. Felt like everyone on Twitter was crying, and it was just a mess. And then this week has been totally different. Ever since the Mark Smith thing happened, pretty much it's been all good news, I would say, for the most part. Nothing too crushing yet. There's still maybe some basketball transfers coming, but Illinois did get a commit from big man Samba Kane. And Alex, what do you think of the big man?
It's a great get. I think that he fills a need, especially with the prospect of different guys transferring and the rumors of Laurent Black leaving. I think he fills exactly what Illinois was needing this season, which is a big guy, first off, but a guy that's long, has an offensive potential, but can also protect the rim at a very high level. I'm reading that Underwood really loves how he moves up and down the court, which is great after seeing Michael Finke and even Laurent Black struggle in that department. So great get for Brad Underwood and co, and to finally get that big man that they've been pursuing.
Yeah, I kind of see him as a Nana Egwu type. I think he'll draw a lot of comparisons that way. But
Yeah.
with Dusunmu and Frazier and hopefully a couple other guards, hopefully the scoring load won't be put on him to where he feels like he needs to drop 15 points a night. Really, all he needs to do for this team is protect the rim, grab rebounds, and run the floor a little bit. He doesn't need to be an All-American. Like, he just needs to contribute positively in the paint where Illinois severely lacked this year.
Definitely. He just needs to protect the rim. That's all he is. He has great length. And based off what I see, he definitely has more of an offensive game than Greg Bodine. Greg Bodine is, I think more of a 4 than a 5. He's about 6'9" and had trouble catching the ball, and Samba looked to be a little bit better on the offensive side of the ball than Greg. What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, for sure. I also like with the addition of Samba, hopefully Iboy Bodine's minutes aren't too many. There aren't too many to go around because he's kind of a player that I feel like should only get minutes in times of a blowout, or you just need something. Like maybe you just need someone's hurt, or you're just having a bad night. That's the only time I really want Iboy Bodine to play. I hope he develops this offseason and adds something to his game. But at the moment, I hope that Kane at least can absorb some of that pressure. Even though he is raw, I think that length is kind of natural, and he'll have a natural ability to block shots. So just looking for defensive contributions, and he should help the minutes for Iboy Bodine as well.
Right. You need depth, especially with the rumors of Laurent Black leaving. You need someone over the height of 6'8", and I think Samba's perfect for that. And you definitely don't want to rely mostly on Greg. I think Greg, like you said, is more of a spot big man.
Yeah, for sure. And I think too, what people should remember is there are more transfers coming that may not be Laurent Black.
Right.
People inside have been saying, over and over again, like the scholarship availability will get bigger for this class. So just stay patient with the staff. I was really worried after the Mark Smith stuff. I was really worried about them being able to close because they missed on every single target in the fall pretty much, besides Dusunmu. I can go down all the big men they couldn't get last fall, and that's another story. But glad they got this one, and they got a couple big targets for 2019 that they need to hit on as well. But this is a good start, and the Illini had another recruit that committed not too long ago by the name of Alan Griffin from New York, I believe, and he dropped 31 points on 2 5-star kids the other day and pulled up from, was it the St. John's logo? Were they playing at St. John's?
It was right in front of the St. John's logo.
Yeah.
Definitely an NBA three for sure.
Yeah, dude just walked up and stroked it with confidence and tied the game. Like, it wasn't like they were up by like 20, you know, like that was like the tie of the game. He's just pulling up from that far, which I don't think we talked about this earlier. I don't think Illinois had that type of guy who's just confident enough to stroke it like that, you know.
Right. And you always have a little bit of doubt when a guy that's unranked comes in, and you may think that just because he's scoring 31 in high school, you might not know what to take from it. But this was against 2 legitimate 5-star prospects, right?
Yeah, I know Moses Brown was one who will be a legit NBA prospect. I don't know who the other one was. I forget his name, but I know there's 2 5-star kids out there, so that's pretty impressive.
And I'm hearing that he plays in one of the toughest divisions in New York, and New York is certainly a basketball-heavy state. So, you never know until he gets on campus. The rankings may show something different, but I certainly think that Underwood knows what he's getting with this kid, and that's a pure shooter.
Yeah, and what's nice, too, is he's 6'5", so he can play the 2 or the 3, which Illinois is short on wing players, as everyone knows. So hopefully he can help fill that void a little bit. Obviously, we think Trent Frazier and Dosunmu will start together. Hopefully that works out better than this season did with Mark Smith. But, yeah, he just fills that void on the wing, and if he can score a little bit, be a little bit more consistent from 3 than Kipper, and that'd be a huge bonus. And he's really athletic. I saw him throw down a dunk. So any last words on Griffin for you, Alex?
Yeah, what I like most about him, other than his shooting ability, is just the fact that he seems to have a good feel for the game. He's the coach's son, son of Adrian Griffin, the current Oklahoma State Thunder assistant, and you can just see that he seems to make the right play at the right time. And hopefully, if he has that DeMonte it in him, I think this could be a great get. And I think Underwood was wise to lock up this kid early because schools need specialists at this point, and to get him up early, pretty drama-free, I think it's a great get.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the last basketball-related thing we really have to talk about is there's a visitor on campus this weekend named Tevian Jones, and I
didn't have to paint his name on my forehead.
Yes, Alex did not have to paint his name on his forehead. Alex survived. As we're recording this at 11:33 p.m. on Sunday, 10:33 for your central timers.
We got 20 minutes, Tevian.
Yeah, and some of you listening probably watched his workout, which is kind of cool. If you did watch, I'd love to know what you thought. But he was on campus this weekend. I'm sure they rolled out the red carpet for him, or the orange carpet, as some people like to say. But I hope he had a great time. I don't really know what to expect. I know he's going to take another visit or 2. I don't know. That doesn't make me feel good. But I think the staff probably feels pretty good about this one after what happened at Arizona.
Right, you have to. I think Illinois has recruited this kid longer than anyone. They've been recruiting him since the fall, and Arizona was probably your main competition at the time, and they're not in the picture. But I understand that he wants to take another visit. I think it's good for him. If I was in his camp, I would want him to take at least multiple visits just so he has some comparison. But given Illinois' recruiting history, it's hard not to worry. But I think, you have to have confidence in the work Chin Coleman has done. Chin Coleman has gone out to LA more than anyone that's been recruiting him. So you just have to hope that stays through and he's not blown away by any of his other visits. Xavier's in the mix, Mississippi State's in the mix, and Cal's in the mix as well. And they're kind of a hometown school for him. May not be directly hometown, but Tevian is from California, and it would definitely be hard for him to come to the Midwest just to play play basketball, but you never know. Hopefully the staff got some good vibes as he left, but praying for the best, right?
Yeah, hopefully Illinois basketball has that California pipeline that football has right now. And
I agree.
speaking of football,
Uh,
there was a little something that happened this week.
no big deal.
No big deal. They just probably got their biggest recruit in 11 years. And Marquez Beeson, athlete out of Texas, can play wide receiver or cornerback. Went to the same school as Keevan Myers. And there's another team, Calvin Avery, as
Calvin Avery.
well. Who I'm sure were influential in this decision for him. But it's a really big deal. You know, he picked Illinois over LSU and some other schools. I know LSU was the other one in his top two, but you know, it's just crazy. Like this is a new day in Illinois football, man.
Yeah, the last time we got a recruit like this was, I believe, more than 10 years ago in the Ron Zook era with Aurelius Ben and Martez Wilson. So, it's about time. And each class that Lovey has gotten has sort of stepped up in the numbers rank. You know what I mean, Zach? Like
Yeah.
the first class, you get Ricky Small, you get Kendrick Green. They're great players, but they're not top 200 players. They're fringe 4-star players, which is great. They're great players.
Yeah, for sure.
Next class, in the 2018 class, you get Calvin Avery, Vertus Brown, which are top 300 kids. And now you get a top 100 kid, and you're on the verge of getting, maybe a top 50 kid. Wink, wink.
Yeah, there's another kid up there who's thinking about Illinois. We'll get to him in a second, but I want to focus on Beeson for just a moment. The staff, at least from what I've read, could play him at either position. I know Rod Smith was really impressed by Beeson at wide receiver, but he's also a pretty good corner. So it'll be interesting to see what the staff does with him. But yeah, I think he's a top 60 kid even. He's 54th in the nation, I think, on 24/7 Sports. And it's just a big get for Illinois. It was cool to see LSU fans and Texas A&M fans who get these kids all the time who just lost one to Illinois freaking out about it. It's just always fun.
Right. If you're Illinois and a top 50, but Beeson can help Illinois in every single position, whether it's a kid wide receiver or defensive back, which is a huge area of need. He's just an insane athlete, next level athlete. Definitely has a pro future, and just the kind of kid that you want. As you can see him recruiting other kids and being that Pied Piper of the class so far, reaching out to different recruits, different players, and it's great to see.
Yeah, Isaiah Williams is the other kid we have to talk about in this situation because he's a 5-star kid. Like Beeson's a 4-star kid, he's top 60, that's awesome. But Isaiah Williams, 5-star kid, quarterback nonetheless. And Illinois is in the lead right now and should be able to wrap this one up. What are your thoughts on Isaiah Williams, his game, and what he could bring to the team if he were to commit?
Well, perception-wise, just another huge get. He's from Trinity Catholic High School, and as we all know, Corey Patterson was former coach there. So this one's on him and Thad Ward, and just getting a top 30 player would be huge for Lovie Smith. And in terms of his game, like I said, you let him play where he wants. And I think that's where Illinois is heading at this. I think Isaiah wants to play quarterback, and schools like Michigan and Oklahoma may not be recruiting him as such. And Rod Smith is selling him directly as such. Isaiah's 5'11", which is short for most quarterbacks, which is probably why those Blue Bloods aren't recruiting him as quarterback, but Rod Smith is. And to add to that, Rod Smith has had huge success, playing with guys that are under 6 foot. Guys like Denard Robinson, Pat White, all had huge success in his system. And you saw that Matt Robinson, one of the recent 2018 commits, is under 6 foot too. So Rod Smith has a proven track record with guys under 6 foot playing quarterback. And not only that, having success. So I think Isaiah fits that. And Isaiah definitely clicks with Coach Smith.
Yeah, and there are a couple more kids that that we're visiting this weekend that could decide soon. Can't remember the names of them, but there's a couple committing soon. I know a couple of the guys just tweeted they were going to commit soon. So be on the lookout for that. Alex, what do you think of the 2019 class as a whole? How you feel right now?
I think or fans were starting to kind of freak out. You know, most schools have a 2019 commit. You saw Minnesota get an in-state kid over us, and we had a huge junior day with a bunch of St. Louis kids in, and we were hoping to get a commit out of that weekend, and we didn't. And past few classes, Lovey has taken a while to get that first commit, and to start off with a bang, so to speak, with Beeson is just amazing. And good players want to play with good players. So seeing your first commit be one of the best players in this class and having a personality like Beeson is just a job well done. You know, Andrew Hayes Stoker definitely deserves a raise, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree with you on the Stoker thing. He's incredible.
Yeah.
The fact that pretty much he was able to land you could argue three guys, and all three of them are pretty big recruits. So, and I know the 2020 class over there at Bishop Dome is pretty insane. So hopefully Illinois can keep that pipeline going in 2020. But spring ball has started for the 2018 Fighting Illini. And do you have any thoughts on the team this year? What are you looking for? And you have a wins projection yet?
Definitely not going to get much love for this, but just win 4 games. You just want to show improvement here, you know, like
Great.
last few years, has been pretty bad, but recruits understand that you're building, but at one point you got to show some results. You got to show some progress. And if you continue to win 2 or 3 games, it's not going to fly well. And I think you got to win at least 4 games, show a little bit of progress. I'm not expecting you to light the Big Ten on fire this year. I think this is more of a build year again, and but you just want to show tangible results, and hopefully they stay healthy. My projection is 4 games. What about you?
Yeah, it's interesting because I was not high on this team this time last year, and they had upperclassmen. Now, like a lot of those kids have transferred or graduated. But what's interesting is I think there's pros on this team. I think there are future pros on this team. Ricky Smalling, some guys on the defense, Hobbs, Adams, like go down the line. I think there are some pros in that 2017 class, and I think there could be some future pros on the 2018 class as well. But I'm with you. 4 games is where kind of I want to see them finish. I don't think it's a bowl game year yet, but I don't think it needs to be. I would be psyched if they did, but I still have a lot of questions about quarterback. I need to see that offensive line get better, get healthy. I think our receiving core is going to be fine. I like our backs for the most part. Hopefully Epstein can stay healthy this year, and I like some of what we got going on defense too. So. 4 games would be great. It's an improvement over 2. Win a couple Big Ten games if you can.
4 whole games.
Yeah. If you win 2 non-conference and 2 conference, I'll be satisfied.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at with this team right now.
Definitely. And you just need to show progress. You don't have to set the world on fire. You just want to be competitive and win games. And that's where sort of our next topic comes in. You need a grad transfer quarterback. You know,
for sure.
Not only to help you win maybe a game and a half, but just to build for the future. And the ability to, I think I was telling you last night that one of these freshmen needs to be redshirted, whether it's Rivers, whether it's Taylor, Matt Robinson. You got to redshirt one for the future because you just need to keep your young players in a stable, and burning a redshirt year on someone that, you know, may or may not play well or a role this year is definitely super important in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I thought they burned a couple red shirts last year that I wish they wouldn't have. Cam Thomas, Dawson DeGroot, another one. That I just wish that they would have just held on to that red shirt. You know, you weren't going to win games. So I wish they would have kept those red shirts. But I agree with you. Taylor, Rivers, Robinson, one of them needs to be redshirted. Personally, I think it'll probably be Taylor.
Agreed.
I think he's a bit more raw than the other two. I think he has insane upside,
Yeah,
but
arguably, yeah,
I'd like to
arguably the
see him
most
get some
upside of the
classes
three.
under his belt too. So
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. You always want to redshirt the one that has the most upside and the most raw potential. And I think that's Taylor in this group.
and I think Rivers. Honestly, I think Rivers will. If they don't get a grad QB, I think Rivers will compete for the job. But that's just kind of my opinion. Um,
Agree?
I don't think Cam Thomas is good enough.
No,
Um, I've heard he's improving, but he's still missing open receivers, and he's. I mean, he's great when it comes to running the ball, but
oh yeah,
he can't throw to save his life. So
definitely,
I think Rivers has a shot to go in there and take it if he wants it.
definitely.
So yeah,
Yeah, Thomas, elite runner, but got to make passes. Just you're a quarterback.
agreed. Do you personally think that Illinois will get a grad transfer QB or a transfer QB at all?
I do. Brandon Dawkins is the name that everyone's sort of throwing out, and I think there's a legit interest and a legit sell. But I do think Lovey has, a contingency plan and is definitely talking to other names that are a little bit more closer to the vest. But I think we do. It's just so necessary, and there's going to be some sort of graduate transfer coming in the summer too, because kids haven't graduated yet, and
Yep.
you won't know who's graduating and who's transferring until May or until June. So wait and see, and I trust that they will get a grad transfer QB. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they will. I think Dawkins makes the most sense. I've heard a couple other names, but I think he makes the most sense. Um, I like to have a transfer QB that's gone to class. That'd be nice. Uh, but yeah, Dawkins makes the most sense to me, and I think he'll end up at Illinois. Personally, I don't know how talented he really is. I just think he's a stopgap quarterback.
Exactly.
He's
Agree.
just there for a year to let these kids develop, because he's probably not. From what I've seen from him, he's not fantastic. So I'm just hoping that he can come in,
Right.
not be awful, and just maybe win Illinois a game or two.
Exactly.
Get to those 4 games, and that's kind of how I feel about it. But yeah, I think they'll land one for sure.
Definitely. Dawkins isn't going to set the world on fire, but it's like how I just said, he allows you, for those young guys to learn from an experienced QB, but also allows you to redshirt one of those 3 freshmen. Or even if you want to redshirt Cam, that's certainly an option. You just want to build for the future and have a stopgap.
Yeah, totally agree with you on everything you just said. And as we wrap up, where can the people of the world find you online?
You can follow our main account at Armchair Illini. But you can follow me, my personal account. I don't really tweet personally, but I do retweet quite often. My personal Twitter handle is Alex_KYI. But make sure you follow us on Armchair Illini, where we love the sarcastic, coy little tweets there that we do, and I'll definitely be making more wagers on who's committing and who's not, and hopefully I won't have to tattoo anyone's name or paint my name. Those tweets are all me, by the way, for those who are wondering.
Yeah, I don't get into that risky business.
Yeah, I like to live it on the edge, make things interesting.
Awesome. Well, you can find me on Twitter at Zach Leslie Hoops. It's ZACHLESLIE Hoops. I tweet a lot about NBA stuff. I write occasionally for Fansided about NBA stuff. Follow the Bulls. You also follow our main account at Armchair Illini. You're probably listening to this because you follow us, but if you don't, follow us.
Definitely, and let us know what you want us to talk about. We'll definitely be doing a lot more of these, and also some short takes on smaller topics. So just if you ever want our takes on it and definitely a realistic analytical approach, let us know.
Yeah, and if there's anything non-Illinois related you want us to talk about, we will still talk about it, whether it's NBA or movies or whatever. Like, we just want to hear what you guys have to say and want us to talk about, and we'll answer any questions you guys have on this show. And Alex, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Zach.
First of many. And thank you all for listening to the show. I hope you have an awesome week whenever you're hearing this, and look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thanks, Alex.